Hey guys, thanks for stopping by to watch another video here at All I See Is W, where we talk about stocks, Bitcoin, and finance. In today's video, I'd like to talk about a Bitcoin mining company, CleanSpark, ticker CLSK. What great news we saw the price of Bitcoin, so much price action today, especially right at the open of the stock market. Bitcoin hovered up above 102,000, and what this resulted in is the miners as well as MSTR having such a great day. Of course, we didn't see a monster day like what we saw with the performance on Friday for the miners, but overall, all in all, this was great news just with CleanSpark announcing their overall operation and production information. So today we'll be covering the technicals analysis. Most of you are wondering how high can CleanSpark go in the upcoming weeks, months, and in 2025. I'll cover all of those details as well as providing updates with its recent announcement with the operational data. Now, if you're new to this channel, I would really appreciate you hitting the like, subscribing for more related content. I know most of the viewers, about 20 to 30%, are viewers who are returning viewers who've subscribed. So for those of you who have not yet subscribed, I would really appreciate the support. Let's get started first. I would like to talk about the overall technicals of CleanSpark. So today, great job with CleanSpark ending the market with about close to 6% gain, less than 6% at like 5.8%. Overall, all in all, I think from a technical standpoint, we're looking at overall just the technicals for a 3 month chart. And what we noticed was back in November, right around the time when we heard about Trump getting elected, share price was hovering at like $18. And the last 3 months, it's just been consolidating down. So definitely a great opportunity to buy, let's say if your cost average is high, but overall, all in all, the last 3 months, especially ending in 2024, this was a huge underperformance with CleanSpark, along with the different miners. But I think what we're seeing from a zoomed in perspective, it's great to see that the price action now we're hovering above the Ichimoku cloud. Think of the price action. We want the price above the Ichimoku cloud. Anytime when it's in between the cloud or underneath the cloud, think of it as a gravitational pull down. That'll bring down the share price. But it's great to see that we're having, volume inflows, lots of money circulation going into CleanSpark right now. And what I have here is tier one in yellow resistance line drawn at 1496, right at that $15 range. If and when we can see that breakthrough with CleanSpark reaching that price target, we can very well see that breakthrough in the month of January and even get into the tier two level, breaking through that prior test that it got to of $18. And just to realize that CleanSpark at one point in 2024, we saw this company being like the number one leading workhorse in like February through March timeframe when it ran all the way up to like $25. So I do think that there's that potential for it to break through the yellow and green zone within a matter of Q1, especially just with the market sentiment right now. Overall, we see Bitcoin price going up. There's forecast that it's going to break through 225,000. We saw that momentum today. We even see companies like MSTR having heavy inflows, but I think because the miners were beat down for so long, now is a time where we're going to see really good solid performance with CleanSpark and the miners. So I wanted to share with you CleanSpark stocks seasonality. Why do I like looking at seasonality? This really helps us see the repeating trends from a year over year basis, just to see if we can gauge consistent patterns. So what I wanted to highlight is, back in 2022, around that bearish cycle where Bitcoin price started dropping, everything that CleanSpark gained for the prior years, I mean, that was a huge underperformance 2022. going down by 78%. What happened the year after that, 2023? It gained 448%. Huge performance in 2023. However, what we realized in 2024 was that some of that profit, we we lost 15% of that. And because there's a negative correlation with, last year, what I'm anticipating is that we're going to see 2025 be somewhere in between the pink and the purple color. And as we scale out, of course, we don't have much data points, especially with it only being 6 days out of, the full year of 2025. Just looking at it currently, we're at that 20% gain, and that's just with limited data that we have so far. But overall, I'm anticipating that the seasonality, because we underperformed in 2024, CleanSpark is going to hover around that 3 to 5x potential. That's my perspective. Now, I just wanted to share with you a posting on X yesterday. I figured that, as we're heading into the new week, we're going to start hearing updates from the big miners. So we learned that CleanSpark, they announced their information, which we'll be covering very soon here. But all in all, I just wanted to see what folks would think in regards to CleanSpark's mining data, whether it was expected to be greater than 650 Bitcoins. And we know that with the November's data, CleanSpark mined 622%. So out of 35 votes, 91% anticipated that it was going to go beyond the 650 Bitcoins. Let's take a look at the data that was announced today from CleanSpark. So overall, all in all, CleanSpark bypassed what they mined in November's production data, going from 622 Bitcoins to now 668 Bitcoin in December. So that's a total of 7,024 Bitcoins. So CleanSpark's mining production, they're just neck to neck right behind Mara. Overall, what's so unique about CleanSpark is that they're increasing their hash rate at a rate that is so fast. It's an exponential increase. On top of that, their fleet efficiency has improved significantly. They went from like a 19 joules per terahash to now month-end fleet efficiency of 17.59 joules per terahash. So what does that mean? That means you're paying much less energy costs to mine Bitcoin while also ramping up the exahash. So I think where CleanSpark is, especially announcing month over month improvement with the amount of Bitcoins mined, I think this really shows their sentiment as to why they leveraged their recent $650 convertible note to really focus on executing on their strategic vision, which is to gear up and achieve that 50 exahash the first half of 2025. I think because they were able to beat their overall goal for end of 2024, ramping up their exahash to 37 a few weeks before the end of the year. That shows how fast they're operating. And overall, their HODL count at the end of the year was reported as 9,952. The fact that CleanSpark mines approximately 22.46 Bitcoin per day, given that we're in January 6th now, that's over 120 Bitcoin. So if you factor that into the count of December 31st, they're well over 10,000 Bitcoins on their balance sheet. That puts them at number three in terms of Bitcoin miners with the most amount of HODL, right behind Riot Platforms and Mara. But overall, because they're the number two in terms of the fastest mining producer, that just shows their overall sentiment. And I think that as they increase their hash rate this year, first half of this year, they'll be right behind Mara, which is why they're positioned for 2025 success as well as long-term success. Let's take a look at other updates here. So what they announced was that with their Mississippi site, they have two Bitcoin mining facilities near Clinton that are fully operational now, housing S21 Pro miners with a combined operating hash rate of approximately 1 exahash per second. Now, in Tennessee, they completed their first phase of the 60 megawatt Bitcoin mining site in Jackson, featuring 12 megawatts of the latest generation S21 XP immersion miners. Now they will capitalize on the second phase, which is currently underway, that will bring an additional 48 megawatts of air-cooled S21 Pro miners online. Once that's operational, that site in Tennessee is expected to add an additional close to 4 exahash to CleanSpark's overall hash rate. So a lot of opportunity focus in Tennessee, in addition to the Wyoming site, because I think this is where they're going to capitalize to ramp up their total exahash by 5 exahash in the Wyoming site using S21 immersion cooling technology at this facility. So all in all, this highlights, the company's efficient development capabilities within the next 6 months to really bring down their joules per terahash efficiency mining capabilities, as well as ramping up to their target goal of 50 exahash. And we realize that Mara, the leading number one Bitcoin miner, they got to that 50 exahash that was announced in December. But if CleanSpark can catch up and get to that 50 exahash, that means they're really not far in terms of hash rate disparity when it comes to big time leading Titan Mara. Let's take a look at overall third quarter data that was reported back in August, which was a couple months ago. So what we realize around this time frame is, of course, having took place in April. So shorts took advantage of that, realizing that miners were not going to perform or give positive news. In this case, there was a net loss of 236 million. I really think that because we saw price appreciation with Bitcoin, in addition to reducing the difficulty with mining through the ramp up of exahash, as well as improving fleet efficiency from like 19 to 17 joules per terahash. Overall, all in all, because price of Bitcoin has gone up in Q4, all of that's going to be factored into positive revenue leading to net profits. So we're going to see this flip the switch here, especially with fourth quarter revenue across the board. We're going to see that with, the big three miners like Mara, CleanSpark, and Riot. So this is what's expected, but I think that that's really going to bring in a lot more investors because of the reverse pattern we're seeing with the financial results. So all in all here, we're looking at Bitcoin holdings of public miner companies. Marathon Digital, they're at like 44,000. This graph is a little bit outdated. However, it gives you a depiction of, which miners are leading right now in terms of HODL count. So you have Mara number one, Riot Platforms, they're at around the 18,000 range. CleanSpark, they're at around the 10,000 range as of today. So they're ranked number three, bypassing Hut 8. So I think what we see with the top three miners here with Mara, Riot, and CleanSpark, these are the miners that will have the most HODL. And it's nice to see CleanSpark position itself as number three in mining companies holding Bitcoin. And as they continue to ramp up that hash rate, that's really going to show the dominance where CleanSpark is going to start creating that disparity for, the fourth miner to try to catch up. So I think overall, all in all, such great news with CleanSpark. I personally think that CleanSpark has that 3 to 5x potential. While we did see the price go down in the last couple of weeks, I think now is a great time to dollar cost average down buying opportunity because CleanSpark has that potential to 3 to 5x from the current price in the year 2025. Now, most of you are wondering, when will that happen? Will we see the topping point in Q1? That's really hard to tell, but overall, inaugurations happening in the next 9 days of trading, along with Bitcoin price expected to go beyond 225,000, along with pro crypto administration coming on board, along with the fundamentals of CleanSpark showing positive updates here with today's news. So I think what we're going to see in January and February, along with the Q4 results, we're going to see some bullish gains with CleanSpark. And what goes down eventually, what we saw in 2024 with CleanSpark, will eventually start popping back up to the level where we're going to see potential of what we saw back in 2020, 2021 when CleanSpark had that big run up in the mining performance. So there you have it. I hope this video was valuable. If you're new to this channel, I would really appreciate the like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys.